back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to another first time reading video today. So you guys know when I do these, it's kind of less about the books and more about the author. But today we're going to be talking about Nathan Singer. And I recently read two of his books. The first one was Transorbital. Look at this cover. Is that not cool as shit? Look at that. Is that not neat? Oh, I love it for the horror people. It's neat for horror people. But yeah, Transorbital, and I read In the Light of You. And these are very different books, and I like that. I really do. I have to say right out of the gate, let me go ahead and spoil this for you. I love him. I love Nathan Singer. I really enjoy the way he writes. I really think these two, at least so far, I know he's got a number of other works out there, are a really good showcase of what he brings to the table. So let's start with Transorbital. So this book takes place during the heyday of the transorbital lobotomy and, you know, what that did to people. And again, I'm not really going to go into this. This was really cool because not only did you get a lot of historical aspects in this, you also got a personal story from your narrator. And West Virginia is mentioned in this one, just right out the gate. Actually, Nathan Singer is relatively close to me location-wise, so I have to say I think a little bit of that plays into his writing, which you guys know I'm down for. Makes me biased right out of the gate. But I really like this. I thought that it married the idea of a personal story well with the historical facts. And, you know, it had some horrific parts in it. It really did, especially for my mental people. Like, you guys know I have a background in psychology, so this was just everything my little dark heart loves. And it's not a huge commitment. It's really not. I really think that he does a great job telling a very detailed story in a very short amount of time. There was a lot here, a whole lot here, in no pages at all, really. And I think he wrapped it up well. Like, there didn't seem to be any rush, but there also didn't seem to be anything that he missed, if that makes sense. So I have to say, I liked this. I thought it was well done. I love the take on what the impact of this medical procedure was, both on a personal level and on like a societal level. I thought he really nailed that. So, Transorbital. So the next book I read by him was In the Light of You, and sorry about the glare, guys. I know it's kind of a shiny hardback. This was way different than Transorbital. However, there were some historical kind of parts to this. Not really, not like in Transorbital, but some societal stuff that you will be familiar with happens in here. And he does it really well, like capturing that. I'm going to relate this book to two movies that you might have seen. Number one was American History X. Number two is Higher Learning. And if you've seen those movies, you know that they are largely based around this idea of race and, you know, kind of your views on that. And this book was that as well. You know, you're following your main character who is essentially a white supremacist, but there's a lot more to it than that. Don't let that turn you off because it's not a political book. You guys know I don't usually dig on that. It's not a political book, but you get into the head of this person and how he gets drawn into this ideology of hate. Okay, because he's not stupid. You know, a lot of times I feel like we think that these people who do things like this, who, you know, get involved in cults or different ideologies, we think that they're dumb. And you see in this book, like, the kid's not stupid at all. And I don't know. I really think it's just a really interesting look into that. If you are a person who really can't handle, you know, marginalized people being hurt, this might not be for you. Because it goes there, okay? It goes there with the hate. But it's necessary to see the growth of this particular character. It is horrific in those parts. It really is. It's very heartbreaking in a lot of ways. But I really think that this is an amazing look into that little dark side of society. And, you know, if you're willing to look into it, I really think that this book has a lot to show us about, you know, the human animal and how we gravitate towards this need to be accepted. So, In the Light of You. So what do I think about Nathan Singer? I like him. I really do. I'm very, very impressed with what I've read, and I would love to pick up more of his work. I know he has another book called Black Church, and it's interesting because Black Church is mentioned in The Light of You, so it makes me wonder if some of his books don't take place in like the same universe, which is always neat. I like him because he seems to be a very intelligent writer. He's definitely a person that I feel like has to do some research before he writes, which I appreciate. I appreciate it when you go that extra mile. But beyond that, I also think that he understands like the dynamics between individuals because the way he writes his characters, you know, they are very strong personalities, but they play well together. Like, I think he understands, you know, there has to be a leader in a group, there has to be a follower in a group, things like this, you know, the weaknesses and the strengths of people. He really nails that. And I also like the conversational tone of a lot of his work. You know, some of his characters, there's one in each of these, as a matter of fact, that are very like, you just met them at a bar and they're telling you about their life. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I strive to be that in a lot of my videos and stuff. I want you guys to think like we're just chatting. And I really think that Nathan Singer does a good job with that as well. So, and, you know, to take this a step further, if you're like me, there are some definite beautiful quotable parts of these books. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're a reader, it is my hope for you that you have came upon those sentences or those paragraphs that just take your breath away with their beauty. And there's some of that in here too. And I appreciate an author that can achieve that. So I have to say, Nathan Singer, easily a new favorite of mine. So guys, thank you for coming back to another first time reading video today. I thought this was a really positive one. I'm very pleased with what I've read from Nathan Singer, and I hope to continue with his work. But if you like this, please hit like, hit subscribe. It would really help me out. And until next time, bye for now.